Okay, so we finished off about here. So when I was talking about testimonials and content. So look, ask people. Just ask people for content, for testimonials, okay? Because the more you collect, the better it is. I've got pages of this stuff, pages and pages of it. And you can just bring it out whenever you like, and it's just immediate credibility. So you've got to make sure you do that, okay? Have you all done the scorecard? Hands up if you have done the scorecard. Okay, that's cool. How did your scores come out? 70? Cool. You're a bit disappointed. Well, the thing is when if it's good, that's great. Maintain consistency. Can you do all of that? If it's not quite so good, it's just showing gaps in where you are. Right. So if you take the scorecard, you get a digital copy of the book. There's a workbook in there as well. There's all sorts of bits and pieces. I'll put it on again at the end. But yeah, it's definitely worth doing. Okay, so creating content. So just remind me again, who here has a bit of a problem with creating content? Who feels they have a bit of a problem with creating content? Okay. Who loves to create content? Oh. When you're in the mood. Okay. Well, most people love doing that when they're in the mood. But who, I'll ask that question again, right? Who here has ever done a Facebook Live? Right. Instagram Live. Okay, cool. So that gives me an idea about the content. So there are 12 principles. Do you know what? Actually, I'm not going to go through these. I don't have time. I'm not going to go through them. I don't have time. If you fill the scorecard out, what I'll do is I'll send you the slide deck, and then you can see the principles, right? So the first thing I want to do when we're looking at creating content is you need to understand who you are talking to. So get in. Who's ever done any meaningful work? And when I say meaningful work, I mean meaningful work on understanding who their ideal client is. Okay. Who's done any work on understanding who their client is? Okay. So a few. All right. Dotted around. So that's what we're going to do today. So I do this one as a little bit of a workshop. So, brains in gear, prepare to, I know it's straight after lunch, but prepare to put a little bit of work in. Because you cannot create quality content if you don't know who you're talking to. There's a great saying in marketing, it's trying to be all things to all people, and you become nothing to no one. There's only one person who's all things to all people, and that's God. You can't be doing that. So you've got to niche down. You've got to try and understand about who your target client is. So grab a piece of paper, a blank sheet of paper if you can. Flip one of the workbooks over. Just grab a sheet of paper. I think there's some pads up here. Just stick your hand up if you're stuck, and I'll throw a pad. But you got a pad there. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, because the more frequently you do this, the more accurate, more targeted your content will become. So I want you to just relax for a minute, right? Just chill. Just do a couple of deep breaths, and have a think about a client, one client. And this is the client that when you see the name in the book, kind of gives you a little bit of a, joy, right? You're like, yeah, I really like this person. It's really looking forward to them coming in. Yeah, awesome, fantastic. Really look forward to that. Got any idea? Could you visualize that person? Yeah? Everybody got it locked in? Right. Now we're going to find out how well you know them. So just write this down, right? What's their name? And this can be quite quick. What's their name? First name, just give them a name. Okay? What do they do for a living? Married? So you can take a photograph of this slide as well, and then you can reference your answers later. Are they married? What does their partner do? Who's their partner? What's going on? Do they have any kids, any children? How old are their children? Super important, that one. Where do they live? So can you picture yourself in their house, opening up the curtains, looking out into the driveway? And in the driveway, it's a car. What car is it? All right. All right, what colour is it then? Yeah. Right? Yeah, what car is it? What car have they got? All right? How much do they earn? What's their income? Yeah? How much money's coming through their till? And how much of that is disposable? So how much do they spend on themselves every month? Write a number, right? How much do they spend on themselves every month? An actual number is better than a percentage, because how much is a treatment? 20%. What? You can't charge in it, so you got to go back in numbers. This is specific to you, right? This is your story. This is your client. This is your favorite person coming to see you. You love this person. They're great. What do you know? How much information have you got on them? Are they an introvert or an extrovert? Do you know? Again, important question. I'll come on to this. I'll come on to why these are important in a minute. Are they direct or passive? So do you have to drag information out of them, or do they walk in and boom, life story in a box? How direct? Are they direct or are they passive? What's their favorite social media network? And I always love that when people say, yeah, they're not on social media. Yeah, they are. They just don't want you to know. All right? What's their favorite social media network? What hobbies do they have? Food, yeah. What were their hobbies? So, hands up if you're able to answer most of those questions or all of those questions. That's fantastic. That's really good. Are you properly able to answer the how much do they earn question? Right. Why not? Sorry? You've never asked them. Why is it important? Sorry, say it again. It relates to how much they're able to spend. So this is a profile. You've got the best client in the world. They want everything. But, if budget's not there, are they the best client in the world? And if that's the question, if you're always getting hit on price, then the reason is because they don't earn enough for you to be able to do what you need to do. So it's an important question. And this is why, again, when we're looking at value and your proposition, what your value proposition, as it's called, if your value proposition is aiming at a group of people who cannot afford to buy what you sell, you're never going to make any money. Agree? Right. So if they're coming in, it's just like, right, card, job done, fantastic, brilliant. That's all good. But again, there's no right or wrong. We just need to know the answers to this one. Any kids? Why is that important? What is the largest single drain on your resources? Kids, right? Off the wage bill. You want kids that are off the where on the wage bill are they? Are they young, middle, or old? Price goes up, university, college, driving lessons, cars. When times get tough, who's getting squeezed? Kids or you? Yeah, in your world, yeah. Probably true, actually, yeah. Sorry, can't afford the trip. I'll get my treatments done. But there's still understanding what drives them, understanding where they buy. You can predict behavior. Because you've got the picture. You can know where it's coming from. Does that all make sense, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to drive on a little bit. And again, this is something that I would recommend doing this all the time. And if you can't quite work it out, you just need to ask more questions of your clients. And I don't mean, sit them in a chair, put a light on and interrogate them. Just pick it up for conversation. If you're talking to your clients, this is someone that you want to spend some time with, right? So you want to get to know them. Okay, next question is, what problem do they have? So think back to that person, right? What problem do they have? What's the biggest thing? And what is keeping them awake at night? Anybody got an example of one? Lack of time, yeah? Living between two countries. Okay, cool. So lack of time, living between two countries. She can't get a man. Okay. Loneliness. Yeah, okay. Sick parent, dealing with elderly parents. Okay. Brilliant one. What else? Lack of confidence and self-esteem. What else? A teenage son. I can relate to that one. Yeah. Teenage son. Money. Yeah. Anything else? Challenges getting employment back into the job, coming back into the job market. What other things do we see a lot of? Menopause. Yeah. Health issues. Marriage breakdowns. What else we got? Scared of COVID. All these problems, right? All of these problems. So the question then is, do you fully understand them? And how are they broken down? I always break when I look at doing, so I do this myself. And what I'm teaching you now is what I do. I look at my client base and I'm constantly analysing the problems that you have. What are the challenges that you face? This is why we managed to get so much data from during that whole COVID process, is because I was talking to you all the time through, polls, the posts that were coming out into the Facebook group. I was just getting all of this information. And what we understood is essentially that the problems broke down into 3 boxes: family, life, and business. So what's the challenges with family? Teenage sons, elderly parents, all of those sorts of things. What impact does that have on someone? It's stress, yeah? What does stress do? Ages you. Right, stress ages you. Now you can see where I'm going, right? Stress ages you. So is the problem aging or stress? Stress. The problem is stress. Business. What sort of challenges do business throw up? Lots, right? Lots. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of, I guess that's probably one of the main things in business, actually, that does worry. It's the fear of the unknown. It's fear. Creates stress, ages you. And self. Challenges around self. Menopause, imposter syndrome, self-esteem, self-discipline. All of those things all have an impact on your clients, on my clients, because they have an impact on you, because you're all human, right? So if these are the challenges that people are having, I'll ask you this: how does sticking an offer out for cheap treatment help that in any way whatsoever? Does it help it? No, it doesn't. Not at all. So by understanding the problem, then we can create better solutions, targeted solutions, specific solutions. Because you've got that one person in your head, you're like, right, you know what? I'm going to create something to solve that person's problems, and then by definition, I'm solving the problems of a broader group of people. One person. It can just be a cohort of one person. When I'm thinking about I wrote Changing Faces, I wrote the book for one person. And her name was Kelly McCready. She was one of my, a friend of a friend at the rugby club. She was an aesthetic nurse. She was just setting up, and she'd have a clue what to do. And I wrote the book for her. Because if I was going to tell her what to do, this is what I'd write, and I wrote it for her. One person. But I knew that I'm talking to many. So if you're creating kind of marketing campaigns, just drill into that person. And what you've just created is called an avatar. You heard that term before? Yeah? You've just created an avatar. So a representation of your ideal client. Tell you who else uses avatar. A slight tangent, politicians. So Trump and Boris Johnson both spent significant amounts of money on social media advertising based on avatars, based on who the ideal person who would vote for them was and what the challenges were. And they put a campaign out, and one would say, for example, Brexit is great, and then you put another one out saying Brexit isn't. And if one of their avatars would respond positively or negatively, that kind of drove where the messaging went. So it's an interesting thing, the way the social media went and their definition of their avatar essentially drove a bit of policy. So this works on multiple levels. So, take a sort of a step back from it all and just think about, who it is that you're solving these problems for. Make sense? Yeah? Cool. Okay. So, now, how do you solve that problem? And this comes into what I call it the product and service suite. So it's going back into the sort of stories 2 and 3. Now, you can't get away with not talking about products and services, but what I'm saying about it is don't talk exclusively about products and services. You need to talk about the problems that people have. So we've just, you all threw up, quite a few different challenges. So if you were to write down on new sheet of paper, right, and you can do this now, or do it another time if you wanted to, 10 problems that your clients have, 10 key problems. And you can use the categories of, life, self, and business. Just write them down, right? 10 problems. Do you think you'd be able to do that? If you sat there with, on the train on the way home, bit of clear head, put your headphones on, do you think you'd be able to get 10 problems out? No. You don't think so? No. Why not? You've had about 6 already. Huh?
I just can't pick. I just can't,
Well, write down more then. Could you get 20?
Then I get to 10, right?
Yeah. Think of 20 and get to 10. Write down as many as you can. If you can get to 10, 10's a target. 10's a good number, right? Nice round number. It's nice and easy. Do you think you could write 10 goals that they have? What do they want to achieve? And if the answer is no, you kind of got to do a little bit more digging. You've got to understand a little bit more about your client. Understand what their motivations are, problems and solutions. So for example, anytime, first thing I ask someone, what do you want to achieve? You came up and had a chat with me, and this is like first thing I ask you is, well, what's the goal? What do you want to achieve? Because if I don't know that, I can't help you. Are we any different? If you don't know what your clients want to achieve, how can you help them? So you need to understand the goal. What is it? If you could write 10 things, and it might be, I want to go on holiday, but you might hear something like, I just want to feel a little less tired. I just want to look in the mirror and see whoever looks back at me reflects what I feel like. You might start to get things like that. When you start to ask your clients, you get their language, how they communicate. And that's when this starts to work. So understand who the target client is, look at the problems, 10 problems, get 10 solutions, yeah? And then ask yourself, how can you either help them solve that problem or achieve that goal? Ask yourself, how can I do it? And it opens up a different way of thinking. Because someone who has, let's pick one, low self-esteem. So who was it? Jade, wasn't it? You said about low self-esteem, right? So when your ideal client, low self-esteem, how could you help her solve that problem? So the origination of the problem, where it came from in the first place. Great. Okay.
I suppose you've got to see understand what that means to that person. Self-esteem is different for everyone.
Yeah. What does that mean specifically? How's it manifesting itself for them? What's the impact of that? Yep.
You can't really recommend treatment pathway if you don't know.
Treatment pathway, bit early.
Yeah.
So it's understanding, how you can help them, but how could you help them? How could Jade help them? Not the clinic. How can you help them? Listening, yeah. Understanding, there's so many transferable skills that you have, and this is why everybody goes straight down the treatment and product route, because it's like, right, yeah, I can help them with this. It's not necessarily what they want. They just want the problem solved. Might not be treatments and products. Might be something else. Might just be sitting there and just listening to someone, creating a nice environment for them to relax in. Yeah? Yes?
Is there any, would you recommend good questions to ask to get those problems out of them? Because I struggle with that myself. I can't understand my own problems.
Yeah.
Asking somebody
Yeah.
else and understanding.
Yeah. No, it's good. So the question was, what are the questions that you can ask to help kind of pull this out? And I suppose the simple thing is when I do, again, this is what I do. So when I do consultancy projects and I'm working with clients, I'll ask one question right at the start of it, which is, what do you want to achieve? For me, that's the biggest question. What is it you want to achieve? Why are you here? And it's not because, to be honest, are they there for the treatment? No, they're there because there's a problem. And we'll move into that. There's because a problem that they want you to help them fix. Help me solve the problem. They're not there for treatment. They're there to solve a problem. It's an outcome they want. Yeah? They're not there for your time, are they? If they're there for your time, they rocked up and said, right, you just got a Scrabble board out and said, right, we'll play this for an hour. They're not going to be engaged with that because you're not anywhere near solving the problem. So it's not what they're after. Here's a slide I prepared literally to answer that question. So as someone moves through your world, and remember, when we're talking about storytelling, you're moving someone on a journey themselves, a mental journey. So where I see things go wrong is when people get really excited about upsell, and someone walks straight in the door. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, nice to meet you. Right. And then you put your most expensive treatment in front of them because you need a bit of cash. It's a bit desperate, and you just put them off. You blow them away completely. When someone walks straight into your world for the first time, they're right at the top, and at the top of their brain as well. It's about know, like, and trust. When you're doing your consultations, and again, sorry if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but sales psychology and treatment psychology are very, very closely aligned. And I studied sales psychology quite a lot when I was working at Allergan. And essentially, it's what people know, what they think, what they know, and what they feel. Think, know, feel. And at the top, you ask someone a question, how are you feeling? What's the first thing that generally people say? I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right. Why did you just say that? Can't be asked to answer the question 9 times out of 10. It's just because it's the answer. It's just what comes off the top of your head. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. And if you leave a bit of space after that and don't jump in, just let silence do some work, something very interesting will happen. And I'm not saying leave a massive pause for days, but just say, how do you feel? Yeah, I'm all right. Actually, you know what? I'm not that all right.